In the previous vlog, I had been on an evening safari in Nagarhole and spotted some wildlife, including a big male tiger. Later that night, after dinner, while I sat outside, I heard this bird call, which looked like that of an owl, but I wasn't able to identify the species. I was up by 5 in the morning, and by 5:30 I started towards the safari center, which is less than 100 meters from the homestay. I had booked for a bus safari which costed around 460 rupees, and the camera charges were extra. And the safari started while it was still quite dark. Our first sighting was a herd of wild gaur with some young ones, but it was still quite dark for decent photography. The bus safari is for 1.5 hours, while compared to 3 hours on a JLR Jeep safari. We checked out a few water holes, but there was no sign of any animals around. At one stage, we noticed some tiger pug marks on the jeep track, and the tiger seemed to have walked on the jeep track itself a little while earlier. The sun was beginning to appear on the horizon. We reached the main road and entered into the forest on the other side. We checked out a few more water holes with not much luck. We saw an eagle sitting on a tree branch with a fish kill, and it looked like a lesser fish eagle, but I am not very sure about that. Before long, it was time for us to head back, since the safari time was coming to an end. And right then, on the road itself, we saw a group of wild dogs. The driver was in a hurry to get back, and didn't stop the vehicle much. Just a little further, we saw a tusker by the roadside. Good morning. I'm back at the homestay here. For the large part of the safari, we didn't have any sightings. At one stage, yes, we saw tiger fresh pug marks. It had walked on the jeep track, but then yeah, there was nothing. And like we're almost coming out of the safari, on the road we saw wild dogs. So, but the driver was in a hurry to get back because he had to go for another, trip. And because of that, we didn't have enough time to observe the wild dogs. It was more of a hurried sighting. Another pleasant sighting was there was a tusker standing right next to the track. So that was another good thing to see. But again, we were in a hurry to get back. So it's 7:45 now. I see a lot of birds here. I'll see if I can do some birding now. Right next to the room, I saw this bird, which might be a dusky crag martin, sitting on a wire. I also saw this noisy Malabar grey hornbill. This beautiful bird is an Indian yellow tit, which has yellow cheeks and yellow eyebrows. It looked like it was feeding on the nectar from those flowers. When I noticed the hornbill again, it was on a tree trunk, and I also saw a hole in the trunk, which might be its nest. A Malabar giant squirrel was foraging in the canopy. The hornbill was indeed using the hole in the tree for nesting, and the male was bringing food for its partner, which would be inside. A jungle fowl was up on a tree, foraging for food. And also, a drongo had found a large flower and seemed to be sipping on the nectar. I also saw this southern hill myna, which I had just seen once before. After some birding and breakfast, it was time for me to check out from the homestay. Alright guys, I have checked out from Gateway Stay Homestay and I'm heading to Kabini for an evening safari today. I've taken the gate pass. I'm crossing over to HD Kote side and then taking the route to Kabini. And yeah, let's see how the evening safari is going to be. Wow, that's intense smoke. So what they do is a group actually they start lighting fire on both sides of the road, and another group they let the fire burn only the dry grass and the dried out leaves, and immediately they start dousing the fire because it shouldn't spread as well. So they will be prepared. So that's why it's a controlled burn. So a group is actually lighting the fire and another group is ready with makeshift fire dousers, wherein they beat the fire out and they douse the fire. So that's how they burn small patches and ensure that if there is on an event of wildfire, it ensures that it does not cross over from one patch to another patch. So good job, Forest Department. The presence of lot of teak trees in this area actually doesn't help much either, because they have big leaves, and once they dry out, they act as a very good fire conductor, and if even a small bit of fire, it's going to blow out of proportions very quickly, and which is why this controlled burning is so important. See, one might feel why there is so many speed breakers here in the forest. I mean, one thing is obviously you have to go slow because it's a wildlife area, but I've seen what can go wrong actually. I'd seen a photo in Nagarhole wherein an SUV had hit a tiger and rolled over, and the tiger was killed on spot. So imagine, on one side people are going slowly trying to look out for animals, and on the other side people will be driving extremely fast, which is why such speed breakers are extremely important. I've arrived at Murkal and now I need to take this deviation to the right towards HD Kote. There's this old little small temple at Murkal as well. This is the deviation towards HD Kote. I haven't travelled in this road off late. The initial stretch looks good. Earlier it used to be quite horrible. Let's see how it is now. Looks like some part of the road is broken still, but I hope this is not for long. Alright guys, I am out of the HD Kote checkpost now, and looks like another half an hour's drive to reach Kabini. That's again a new route which goes via Taraka. So, and it's 1 o'clock now. I'll get going to the safari point now. Just took a small deviation here to check out the Taraka Dam backwaters. Last time I had seen elephants on the other bank. It's too hot and sunny now. Evenings are going to be nice here. Very hot. I'll continue now. That's the Taraka gates, dam gates. Alright guys, I've arrived here at Kakan Kote Safari Center. Time to make an entry. And I see new buses here. That's nice. The safari started at 3, and these new buses give a good field of view all around. After a while into the safari, we heard a cheetal deer call and waited for a while. We went on to check out a nearby waterhole, but there was no activity. After waiting for a while, we moved on to check out other parts of the park. We stopped again when we heard a cheetal deer alarm call. But the call didn't repeat, so we moved a little further. All we saw were some langur monkeys resting under a tree. There were hardly any big mammals around, not even the elephants or gores. We stopped again to listen to the jungle denizens, but all was silent. The Sunkatkate guest house seems to be renovated and looks good. We pretty much tried out all the water holes, but all we saw were only the cheetal deer. We then reached another waterhole where, on a previous visit, I had seen the famous Magge female of Kabini. However, this time around, all was silent and there was no sightings. The Magge female had crossed the track right in front of our vehicle, walked on the bund, and got down to have a drink. We had also seen a big male tiger on my previous visit. No sightings in the safari. So just one jeep has found a tiger, that too near that high tension power line, it seems, but they're too far away. So that's what happens. And I was doing only one safari in Kabini, so you can't get lucky all the time. So it's fine. That's about it for now, guys. I'll see you on another vlog. Until then, take care, see you, and goodbye.